Hello, and in this video I'm going to focus on part 3 questions. These questions follow the part 2 topic, describe someone who is a good parent. Let's take a look at this question first of all. Do you think it's good for grandparents to look after children, and why? And I want you to take note of how the discourse markers have been used. Those are the words highlighted in the yellowy gold. Discourse markers are signpost words. They indicate to the reader or listener the direction that your writing or speaking is taken. And for IELTS speaking, they're very important because they form part of your fluency and coherence grade. Okay, so I'll answer the question first and then we look at these discourse markers and vocabulary in more detail. Absolutely. I fervently believe that grandparents can help to raise polite and well-mannered children. For instance, grandparents are often less rushed and have more quality time to spend with them. However, there is a risk that they might spoil them, particularly grandmothers. Undeniably, this would be a bad thing, but in the majority of cases, the children grow up without becoming spoiled brats. So notice that I've started the answer with absolutely. Instead of saying yes or no when you're asked a question, do you think, try to answer it with absolutely if you agree, or absolutely not if you disagree with the question. Remember to give examples to support your answer. For instance, you could also use for example. A good example of this is. When giving your examples, you can focus in on one particular thing, particularly grandmothers. You could also use especially grandmothers. Undeniably. Other words you could use here are without a doubt, undoubtedly, definitely, most definitely. And by using words and phrases such as these, you're going to hopefully get a higher band score in fluency and coherence. Let's just take a quick look at some of the other language in this answer. I fervently believe. This is like saying, I strongly believe. Rushed. This means you're rushing around all the time and have very little time to do anything. Quality time. This means time spent with a person where you're actually giving them your attention. Spoil. If you spoil somebody, you give them everything they want. The majority of cases. Most cases. Spoilt brats. These are children who have been spoiled and have been given everything they want and behave in quite a horrible, obnoxious way. Okay, so now let's look at some more questions connected to this topic. I'm not going to go through them in quite as much detail. I'll just read through the model answers and pick out a couple of words in each question. Do you think it's only the mother's responsibility to look after a child? Absolutely not. I think both the mother and father should be responsible for child rearing. Undoubtedly, how they raise children is different. For example, dads bring up their offspring in a more disciplined way, whereas mums tend to do it in a more loving way. Often, as a result of this, you get a well-rounded child. And in this answer you've got the word offspring, which is another word for children. Well-rounded means a child who is very balanced and has experienced a lot of different things and made them a very good, well-rounded child. And finally, this question. Why do young people dislike being controlled by their parents? By and large, I think the foremost reason for this is that nobody likes being controlled by anyone. Worldwide, children and teenagers are all the same and want to rebel against authority. It is actually a key part of the development process and is essential to make children become independent. By and large is a useful discourse marker, and it means generally. The foremost reason is the main reason. To rebel against authority is what teenagers do when they start to fight against rules and control. A key part is a good collocation, and it means an important part. So I hope now you can see how important discourse markers are in your answer, and remember they form part of 25% of your overall band score. So make sure that you include them in part 3, and make sure you include a wide range, not just a firstly, secondly, thirdly. Try to learn some of the discourse markers that have been used in this topic. Thanks for watching.